I'm gonna start recording. Alright, we're good. Cool.
Alright. So we're recording right now?
Yeah, I just started recording. So like you can start anytime you want, like while we video edit, you know.
Okay, are we live right now?
Yeah, we are.
Okay, hold on, let me just announce it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I just announced it.
Okay, cool. Is my volume okay? Am I too low or whatever?
No, you're good.
Okay, I think you're good too. You're in the green, so.
Okay, good. Good. Okay, so should we start?
Yeah, let's get started. Why not?
Okay, so I guess we should probably introduce ourselves.
Yeah.
So, hello, I am Teto Dash, also known as the Luka of Tsuyoku. So, yeah. And you want to introduce yourself next?
Yeah. Yoroshiku onegaishimasu! I am K_Leila, which is also known as Luka and Neru in Tsuyoku.
So, yes, just the two of us for right now, but I hope that's okay.
We'll try to be as entertaining as possible.
Yeah, this is the first time we're doing this, so if it's like a little weird or awkward, I'm sorry. This is, I guess, kind of experimental, even though it's live and going up on the YouTube channel.
Yep.
So yeah, today we are going to be discussing how we got into Vocaloid covers and cover groups, and how anyone watching this who's maybe a beginner or just wants some advice can start getting into it, because it's a lot of fun. And if you want to be part of it, you should do that.
Yeah.
So yeah. So first, we're going to discuss how we got into doing Vocaloid covers. I can go first if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
Alright, so how did I get into doing Vocaloid covers? Years ago, when I was maybe 4th grade, like 10 years old, so like
Oh my
almost 10
god.
years ago, because I'm 19 right now.
Oh my god.
So yeah, so like almost 10 years ago, I discovered Vocaloid, and I always have liked singing. I haven't always been good at it, but back when YouTube was just like becoming a thing, Vocaloid was like, it was popular, but it was different because we just had Vocaloid 2, and the software was very different, and the fandom was very different because everyone was younger. So I was like 9 or 10, and I didn't really know how like computers worked. Like, I didn't even have. Okay. You good?
Jesus. Yeah, I'm good. I cry.
Okay, so anyway, when I was little, I guess, yeah, you would say I was little. I was like 9 or 10. I found out about Vocaloid through watching, I think I was on YouTube watching Lucky Star, which is an anime. I don't think it's on YouTube anymore because like the YouTube copyright laws and stuff and rules was a lot different back then. Like you could almost post anything on YouTube and it wouldn't get taken down unless it was like pornographic or like really offensive.
Yeah.
So people uploaded like full like episodes of like TV shows to anime. So like if you wanted to watch like any anime back then, you could just go on YouTube and find it. It was pretty great before YouTube was bought out by Google and everything got changed. But anyway, so I was watching Lucky Star, and after I watched it, I looked at the recommended stuff, and I saw this video of, I believe it was of Miku, Kaito, and Meiko, and they were like in like a chibi form. I don't remember exactly what the video was, but that's the first Vocaloid video I found, and I was interested after that. I was like, who are these people? Who's this girl with the blue pigtails? And I ended up figuring out that, oh, that's Hatsune Miku, and she's a singer, and oh, there's a bunch of other characters too. And I found out, yeah, this is like a singing, what do you call it? A singing synthesizing program.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of songs, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. It's singing anime characters, but it's like they're not real, so people can make their own songs, and it's a synthesizer, so people who have musical experience can make their own stuff. And with that, I started listening to all the songs. And hold on a second, my dog is in the room. If he
That's
wants
okay. We can always
he
cut
wants
this
to get
out.
Yeah. Okay, you can go. Be free. Okay. Okay, where was I? Talking about Vocaloid and what it is.
Yeah.
So it basically it's a vocal synthesizer. So kind of like how you play the piano and you press like the keys and then it does the notes that you want it to do. Vocaloid is kind of the same way, except for like instead of piano noises, obviously it's vocal noises. It's like human singing, but at the same time back then it wasn't like as humanized, it wasn't as like polished as it is now, because Vocaloid 2 was like, I wouldn't say super choppy, but it was a lot more choppy than
I would say
now.
rough too, like
Yeah, it was rougher.
yeah, and it sounds more realistic nowadays.
Yeah, like now we're in Vocaloid 5 and it
Yeah.
sounds a whole lot better than it used to be.
Most definitely. I can vouch for that.
Yeah. So Vocaloid, you can obviously make your own songs. That's what a bunch of people did. And I got really into like the songs, and I was like, oh, I want to sing these. And back then, like Smule wasn't really a thing. It was, if you were interested in like singing Vocaloid stuff, it was usually just to YouTube. There might have been other websites back then, but YouTube was like the main thing if you wanted to post covers and stuff. And I found people who did covers, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm really interested in this. Like, how do these people make these covers? How are they like singing these Vocaloid songs? And I found out that really all you needed back then to do this was a microphone, but I didn't have a microphone when I was younger. So yeah, I was just kind of there, kind of sad, like listening to all these people who sing, and I didn't have a microphone, but I liked listening to these other people. And eventually what happened was that Vocaloid cover groups on YouTube started appearing. Like there'd be like, audition for a cover group, leave a video response. And I don't know if I actually auditioned for any of those. I might have looked at them. Like I didn't have a microphone up until like a few years after this. I actually got a microphone, but it was like, I don't know if you know what Rock Band is, but Rock Band comes with a microphone. It's a really crappy USB microphone, but I kind of used that and like auditioned for these groups. I didn't get into any of the groups, obviously, because when I was like 9 or 10, I wasn't really skilled at all. The microphone was really crappy. But I enjoyed singing, even if I wasn't good at it, and I liked watching what other people had to do. So that's basically how I got into Vocaloid cover stuff. And then there was Smule that came along. Smule, if you don't know, it's an app for both. It came first on iPhone, and then it eventually came over to Android. But I don't think it has as many features on Android. But anyway, Smule is it's like they call it a karaoke.
Yeah, it's basically, yeah, it is, yeah. Worldwide.
Yeah, it's pretty much worldwide.
Yeah.
And
can get addicting sometimes too, the sing.
Yeah. It's, if you don't know what it is, it's like kind of hard to explain like exactly what it looks like, but basically it's you can look up any song that you want if it's on there, and you can sing it. It's like karaoke, and you can record yourself, and you can share it with other people. And so I started recording stuff on Smule, and obviously when I started, I don't know exactly how old I was when I started. I wasn't like 9 or 10 because Smule didn't exist back then. I might have been like 12. I don't know, but I recorded stuff and I looked at other people's stuff, and I found out about people who were also doing Vocaloid groups and stuff. And this was before Discord too, so it wasn't as organized. Usually when I saw groups, they wouldn't last for very long. It would be like,
Were you
oh,
like, was it online? Like, you know,
yeah.
the app Line? Yeah.
Oh yeah, people use Line too.
Yeah.
But some people just did it like in Smule, and they would
Oh
like
yeah,
try to do
the group
it.
chat in Smule.
Yeah, they would try, but it wasn't very organized. So a lot of the time, these groups would just come and go. And
Yeah.
at one point, you hear people saying, "I'm gonna start a group," and then at another point, you ask them what happened to your group, and they're like, "Oh, it just kind of disbanded. Wasn't very organized." And that wasn't really their fault though, because Smule wasn't what it is today. Obviously, we didn't have Discord, and we had Line, but Line
Yeah.
doesn't have nearly as many features as Discord. So, yeah, and now I'm getting into like today's time when Discord became a thing.
Yeah.
The very first Discord base group I was in, I remember I saw a recording, like it was one of the invites on Smule, and it says like, come and join our group, come and audition for it. So I auditioned for it, and I ended up getting a role, which was really exciting because I really hadn't been in any groups before that. There's a small group that I was in called Vokinda, but that didn't have like a Discord. It didn't have like a YouTube. But this was the very first time I've ever been in a group. I think it was called Lost Music or Lost Voice, something like that. I don't know. It's like changed names like a bunch of times, but that was the first time that I'd been into like Discord stuff. So I basically found like a whole new, you say it's like a whole new world on Discord, like stuff I didn't know existed, groups I didn't know existed. And it was pretty cool, like meeting all these people, seeing all these groups, and you could like talk to these people and plan out all of these collabs, and it was really cool. And now I am here today where I have made after being in that one group for a while, I decided that I wanted to have my own group, and it started out with this small group called Dankloids. I wasn't very experienced back then. I mean, it was
Dankloids?
yeah, it was called Dankloids.
Oh my god. Oh wait, that sounds familiar. It sounds familiar to me.
Yeah, you might have been in it. I'm not
Yeah.
sure. It's deleted now. But that was my very first group, and it was pretty small. I don't exactly know how many like members we got. Maybe like 20 at the most. And like I wasn't very organized with like auditioning, so like anyone could be in it pretty much. Like if you auditioned, then you would basically automatically get in, and it was fun. But like I was not very experienced. It wasn't very organized, but it was like a good way to learn because I did that for a while, and then after that, I actually took a hiatus from managing groups because I wasn't in a very good place, and I was like, okay, can't manage this right now, so I took some time off, and then one of my friends, Looming Stars, who's our Miku, basically said she brought up how there was a STED group and she was sad because no one was managing it. She said, oh, it has potential and all this. And I was like, oh, I could probably take over it. I mean, I have some experience. So that's how this group came to be, is that I basically revived a dead group and took it over. And yeah, now it is what it is. That's basically my story. Do you want to explain how you got into Vocaloid covers and all that?
Yeah, sure. Okay. So, I first discovered Vocaloid in the ninth grade, actually. Like ninth grade, I was in high school, freshman, and I became friends with this one girl, and sort of like a group of friends. Like we all loved anime and stuff, and she just showed me. She let me listen to. It was either Childish War or Electric Angel by like Kagami no Ren and Rin. And I just remember I was like, what is this, huh? I remember I was like, where did you find this and all that stuff. But I do remember that I really liked how different it felt and how different it sounded. So I loved an Electric Angel so much that day that I even came up with like my own choreography for that song. So like it became a jam for me and my friends, which was great. It was a great experience. And I just got more curious to it. And jumping in, there's this YouTube singer, Liz Robinette, and I discovered her through her Kingdom Hearts covers, which are really amazing, by the way. And through the recommended, I saw this song called Irony, and I didn't know it was a Vocaloid song until I looked in her descriptions, like, oh, you did such a good cover of the song, and I was like, wait, this is a cover? So I looked for the original version of it, and I didn't like it at first because of how it sounded, because Vocaloid is like robotic type of singing. It's not like an actual person singing. So wasn't I digged the song and its meaning, which sort of broke the barrier that I was feeling, because I feel like with music it's not just about how it sounds, it's also about how like unites other people, because like music is like a universal language, right? So there's that. And yeah, I got a message, god damn it. And so I just looked past that barrier and like listened to the song more in its original form with Hatsune Miku singing, and like I just got used to it, like yeah, it's different, but I got used to listening to like that type of vocals, and then I just explored more of like Hatsune Miku's songs, and then I just dove in more into the like Vocaloid fandom with like those very choral type of songs like Blessed Messiah and the Tower of I, and all that good jazz. And I just grown to love it because it's like so different from music that we hear today. It's not as like musically orchestrated or like musically creative as it is in Vocaloid, in my opinion. So that really got me into Vocaloid. So I remember back in those days too, I was doing YouTube covers, and it all started with just gaming songs and some of the Norm songs. But then once I found Vocaloid, I was like, all I gotta do is sing Vocaloid now. Like this is my jam. I gotta like sing this stuff. And the first song I did was Ai Kotoba, which is nice. Um, it was for an wedding anniversary for my uncle and his wife. So it was quite an honor to sing a song that no one knows, that's like in a completely different genre than the norm. So that was nice. And then fast forward, I guess I was like in 10th grade when I got back into Smule, because 10th or 11th grade when I got back into Smule, because I just tuned in on Smule real quick because I saw it like in advertisement as a Google app or whatever, and I was like, what? This is cool. I want to check this out. So I did for a little while. I was like singing along to like the Norm songs, like When I'm Gone, like the Cup song, and all those like normie music. And I then like stumbled upon that, oh, there is more genres in Smule that you can sing into. So I found some of the Vocaloid songs that I was familiar with, and I started singing that. And then I didn't have VIP, or I don't I don't think VIP was no VIP was still a thing back then. Yeah, Smule changed a lot over the years. I'm not gonna get into that, but I didn't have VIP back then, and so I had to join other people's calls in order for me to sing the song. So while I was scrolling down on open calls, I discovered like there was this group that was looking like that was like holding auditions, and this is the part of my story where we get into how I joined Vocaloid cover groups, and it still blows my mind to this day on how I even got in. So I'm just gonna start with that. So basically, I joined the audition call. I read like their information document, like what their group is about, and I was like really nervous because this was actually like a professional group. Like you gotta know how to harmonize, you gotta know ad libs, you gotta do all that like special stuff. And they were called Sonorous and plugin, and I just loved how they did their cover of Leia, which is another Vocaloid song, and it just got me really interested into joining that group because they sound so in unison, they sounded so beautiful, and they even had like so many plays off that one cover, like over 5,000, and I've never seen that number before. So it got me really interested into joining that group. I didn't think I'd get it because Sonorous is about it was like a professional group that focused on harmonies, ad libs, and like all these things that I didn't think I was capable of doing. So during the audition period time, like I know this one song that I came to love, which was called Jitter Doll. So I made that my audition piece. So I did a self collab cover of it. So I sung the song, I added in my ad libs, I added in my harmonies, I even added in like voice acting, just like a little extra finesse. And then once they announced like who got in, I was like in shock for I think like 5 minutes straight. I just could not believe I got into like such a group, but I did, and I was really happy about it. So again, a little fast forward, the group eventually disbanded, and it was sort of in a way where like I was left drifting off somewhere, and I had like a lot of fun experiencing what it's like to be in a group. So I became, a bit like distant with Smule in a way. I sort of lost meaning on like why I was even on Smule because it started just being boring for me. But then I started discovering more groups as more groups were looking for more singers, and I got time fast forward again. I got into more and more groups that were only opened online, the Line app. So we all communicated online, and it sort of branched out to that to the point where I made my own group called Andromeda because I wanted to make my own group and just like be in charge of a group that I want to control. And it was like a new experience for me because I at that point I knew how to manage a group, and there were like there was a theme, like a common theme in that group that I wanted to do. So that's like another experience in all. Like I even made my own Vocaloid cover group, and it's still ongoing right now, which is great. I'm in charge of two Vocaloid cover groups. One is sort of casual, and the other one is a professional group where we do ad-libs and harmonies. Everyone can do them, and yeah, I think I'm like pretty much done with my story right
All
now.
right.
Yeah. So like I am in many Vocaloid cover groups, and Discord servers and Line group chats, and I also am in charge of three Vocaloid cover groups. So yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
Good work.
Okay.
Okay. So next, what we were going to talk about is how beginners can get into Vocaloid cover groups or just do covers on their own.
Mhm.
Um, I'm gonna say some things first, and if you want to like butt in or whatever, you can.
Yeah.
So what I would suggest is um joining Discord, obviously, because Discord has a lot of cover groups, like professional cover groups, like casual cover groups. So I would suggest definitely getting a Discord account if you don't have one already, because that's going to be very useful, very helpful for networking. And then obviously get a Smule account too, unless you want to just do like purely YouTube, but that might be a little harder because YouTube has this like
It's
weird
also very
algorithm.
Yeah, it's also like limiting too. You
Yeah,
can meet
I
so
mean,
many more people in Smule than YouTube, in my
yeah, I
opinion.
mean, yeah, you can. YouTube is also kind of like, you kind of say it's like a game of luck, kind of like gambling almost, really,
Yeah.
because some people are really talented and they post stuff on YouTube and it doesn't get any attention, and
Mhm.
someone else with the same talent could post something on YouTube and get attention, but it's
Yeah.
almost like completely random of who succeeds, who doesn't. Sometimes it's not even really like skill based, because someone could get a shout out from someone who is really popular on YouTube and get views even if they aren't themselves like
And
really
okay,
talented.
I also want to add something too, like with YouTube covers, they also like really focus on like the quality of your mic, the quality of your edits, the quality of
Mm-hmm.
your mixing. But like in Smule, like in all honesty, they don't care. Like you can have like a muffled mic as long as they can like understand like what you're saying and like hear your voice. And yeah, you're good. You don't need like a 200 or even like
Yeah,
$500 mic to like for Smule. You can do that for YouTube. I know like there are like some cheap mics out there, but still like the requirements to be noticed is like less in Smule than on YouTube is what like
yeah.
the true like distinct barrier between them. That's what I noticed.
All you need for Smule really is just a cell phone or like a tablet, I
Mhm.
guess would also
Yeah.
work. I think people use tablets, I'm not really sure. I use my cell phone. But all you need is a cell phone with, most cell phones nowadays have decent mics. I think
Mhm.
maybe if you have like an older one.
Cause like how I record, it depends. Cause like I have my earphone mic, which I'm using right now, but I also
Mm-hmm.
have my cell phone mic. It depends. Cause like in different covers that I do, it's like a way of blending. So if like the majority of the people have like mics, like earphone mics, like not as clear, then yeah, I'll use my earphones. But
Mm-hmm.
like if it's for a more professional group where they have like clearer mics, then I would use my phone mic by just using headphones. Like there's a distinct definition between headphones and earphone users.
Yeah, I usually just use my cell phone mic. I have used earphone mics in the past, but I don't know, sometimes the quality isn't as good because like
Yeah.
you can have the like cord that the mic is on will like jiggle around and you get like the feedback from that and it's not too good. But I
Mhm.
guess if you like keep it in place, it's
Yeah.
all right. But I would say if you're a beginner, Smule is much better to start off on than YouTube, because obviously we talked about how YouTube is not
Mhm.
the most fair place, I guess.
Yeah. In all honesty, yeah, like that is a fair term to use. Like fair, like like it's like a jack of trades. You roll the dice, you get like the number you want or not. Everything stopped. Hello?
I'm sorry, my sister came in the room.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. She's. Go in your own room, Kayla. Yeah, she's yelling at me. I'm sorry.
No, you're
Let me mute
good.
myself. I'm sorry about that.
Not a problem.
She's a brat. I'm sorry. She's like 12 years old and bleh.
It's not a problem.
Yeah, but okay. Anyway, we talking about mics and stuff. I think
Mhm.
talking about Smule.
Yeah, like
So
how others can get into it.
yeah, so I would recommend obviously downloading Smule, downloading Discord, and really the best way to get into it is by joining a group. Like even if you're not like you don't have a role for the group,
Yeah, because there
most
are some
groups.
groups that aren't Vocaloid based. Like they sing
Yeah,
Japanese songs and Vocaloid songs, but like they don't have Vocaloid roles. Like that's what my groups
Yeah.
are about too. So.
But yeah, some groups they don't have like Vocaloid roles, so that's something. And I would probably start off by joining, just I guess ask around like what people think the best group is.
But like most of the times, like the group would have like their information document, like saying like what their group is
Yeah.
about, so they can judge based off of that.
Yeah, that's a good way to figure out what you want to do. But for like the very first group you want to join, I don't know, it's kind of a hard one.
For like, okay, so for the first group to join, it depends on you really. In my opinion, like how I first joined Vocaloid cover groups, like I didn't have a role. I was just myself. And then like fairly recently, like in the last year, like just barely before this year, like it's 2019 now, I just barely joined like Vocaloid based role groups in 2018, and I didn't know it was a thing until I discovered it. So I was like, oh, cool. So like you can go either way, whatever like fits your fancy. In my opinion, I don't think it matters whether you join a Vocaloid based group or not. I think what really matters is that like you like get your feet wet first and know like what you're going, like what you're getting into and like what joining groups is all about. And if you're comfortable with that, you can branch out, because like there are like many other cover groups as well. There's one for like K-pop, there's some for J-pop. It's like a wide variety. So like it's your choice.
I'm trying to like figure out like what is a good group that like beginners should join, because there's so many groups out there. There is a difference though between like more professional groups and then there is just like more casual groups. As of right now, I know that there is a group called Galaxius.
Yeah. I'm in that group.
Yeah.
You're in that group too, right?
Yeah, I'm in that group, and I don't think it's like too professional, and people there seem to be pretty friendly. So maybe that's a good group to start off in.
Yeah.
If you're
Oh yeah, for sure.
beginner.
Like yeah, if you're a beginner, like I started off with a professional group, and that's because I have like experience. So like it depends. It also depends how much experience you have, and like how, because like Smule is like its own recording studio in a way.
Yeah.
Like you gotta know how like volumes and their sound effects work in order to like sort of mimic your own YouTube cover in a way. Like if you get what I'm saying. Cause with me, yeah, I joined a professional group off the bat, but that's because like I knew how to harmonize, I knew how to balance my volume and all that stuff. But if you're more of a person who wants to be casual or don't have that much experience, then yeah, I do recommend doing a more casual group that is like more friendly with that type of thing and like less strict.
Yeah, I think we can possibly link down some groups in the description of some good casual groups to go for, and maybe also
for
like
sure.
some more professional groups.
Wait, okay, so do you know like Vocaloid, right? It's like one of like those big, those really big Vocaloid. Would you consider that more as professional or casual?
Oh, that's definitely more professional.
Yeah, I was like, because like there is like a hell lot of people in that group, but yeah, it is more professional.
I mean, honestly, I don't think that you should join that if you're a beginner, because getting into that group is also extremely hard.
And yeah. And I think also like really stressful too. You don't stress yourself. Don't stress yourself out, honey. Okay, baby steps.
Yeah,
you can take a leap when you're
like
ready.
6 times and
really
have not gotten in. Yeah.
Well, I think it's mostly because like we have like the majority of the roles anyways. Maybe that's why it's hard, because like there's less flexibility in roles.
Yeah, a lot of the roles I auditioned for, like I didn't know who the Vocaloid or Utah was, so
oh yeah, same. Yeah.
I was like, what is this? So maybe that's why, I don't know. Maybe I just suck, I don't know.
No, it's not because of that. Like you're a good singer. It's just like not what they're looking for. Like you can't blame them. Like they have like so many roles in that group already.
Yeah, I looked and like I a lot of the time I'll either get like Luka or Prima. So I looked at like obviously Luka is taken there, so it's like nope. And then Prima was taken too.
Yeah, so. I also have only like one problem with like these type of groups where like they give you a role, like everyone has like a unique voice, and to like put them in just because they sound like a Vocaloid, I think in my opinion is a bit like unjust, because like I'm sure there are like many good singers out there that like deserves a spot, but like the only thing that's hindering them is that, oh, you don't sound like this Vocaloid character, I'm sorry. And like
Yeah, that's true.
I find that messed up in my I just find it messed up. That's why like when I'm in charge of my groups, I wouldn't like giving them roles, because like there's less freedom in that. Cuz like if you're given a role, like people expect you to sound like that role, and like what if you don't for one song? They're like, wait, what? Like you're supposed to sound like this Vocaloid, you don't sound like that Vocaloid in this song. I find that, you know, very limiting. That's why in my opinion, like for beginners, find your voice first. I know it's weird to say, but find your voice, and do not join like a role based group right away. Like join a group where like your voice is free to be expressed in like more ways than one. Like you can sound like a trap, you can sound like a Lolita. You're not binded to one role, you know.
Yeah, there are a few groups like that out there which are good for beginners, because then you aren't like said, okay, you have to sound like this Vocaloid all the time.
Exactly.
So that's really good for beginners to join those groups. Even if you're not a beginner, if you just want to join one of those groups.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you're not a beginner, then you know, let loose, have fun.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? For this group, it's role based, but usually if people audition and I think that they have a good voice, I would give them a role regardless of like if we're looking for that or not, because my group right now doesn't have like a whole ton of people. I mean, the server itself has like over 100 people, but like not all of them are in the group. So if you want to audition, auditions are actually opened right now, so
plug in.
Yeah, plug in. So like even if you don't think you sound like any of the roles that we have up, it's possible that
you can also audition in my groups. I mean, I'm in charge of 2 professional groups and 1 casual group, so you can at least audition for the casual group. And like all of my groups aren't role based, so yeah, as long as you have like a good voice, that's all I need.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel, but like at the same time, I like doing role based groups just because then it's like, I don't know, it's kind of like the idea of like being a Vocaloid, like even though we're not actually Vocaloids, but it's like I don't know, it's almost like a role play, but like not a role play.
Yeah. I actually wonder who started all this. You know, like basing the group off Vocaloids.
Yeah, that's what I'd like to know too. I'd like to know like who made the first Discord group, and
because like it is pretty interesting on like who got the idea of doing that. You know.
I don't know who like the first person to ever make a group like this would be, but it'd be cool if we could find out.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know if we'd ever would find out who the first person was, but that would be cool.
Yeah, and also, anyways, to the people who are in the Twitch right now, thank you so much for joining us. I think we're almost done, but we can stretch it if you want. But people joined us, and it's nice to have you guys here. Welcome.
I'm not actually looking at the Twitch because I'm looking at my notes and stuff.
Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, there's some people in here.
That's cool. Okay, next on the list, so we have discussing how people can get into it. I think we've pretty much covered everything.
Yeah.
Unless there's more that we want to say.
Not really. I think we've voiced out pretty much everything.
Yeah, but I think that we've it's almost 40 minutes, which was like a whole lot longer than I thought this was gonna go.
I know, me too. I didn't expect that, but you know, like people elaborate on this stuff.
That's good.
Yeah, it's good. Like it's a good first podcast.
Yeah. So I guess that's it. So if you enjoyed this, if you're watching it on YouTube, obviously subscribe. Yeah, that's stupid, but you know.
Like the video at least. Maybe even leave a comment. Then subscribe if you want to. Give them a choice.
Yeah. And listen to our covers and crap too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
If you want, you
And
can also like describe like what your group is about, since I'm in it too.
yeah, if you... Oh, you want me to do that?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. So basically my group is just I don't know if you'd call it professional or casual. I guess it's more on the professional side because like I don't accept everybody. I have, I guess, standards. Like
And
if
there
you're
are
out of...
deadlines. Just like you have like a set of like core rules that you want.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I will yell at people, or not really yell at people, but I'll like say to someone, "Hey, you're not being active. You need to join."
Yeah, I
And
think
all
it's
this.
also more like administered. In a way.
Yeah, but it's not like too like strict. But I'd
Yeah.
say it's on the stricter side. Like if you're a little bit afraid of that, then maybe don't join. But if you're cool with that, then
No slackers, basically.
Yeah, if people are
in any
not
group,
joining...
actually, no slackers. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like for me, for my groups, I don't tolerate that at all. Like, you get strikes and then you're out. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Because like you
Well,
join a group,
definitely,
then you gotta
yeah.
commit. What's the point in
Yeah, if you're
joining when
gonna
you're like
join
lazy?
something, if you're gonna join something and say you're gonna do stuff, then you should actually do what you said you're gonna do.
Exactly.
Or you might get kicked.
Get kicked in the bum.
Get kicked in the bum. Yeah, I think that's about it.
So we're gonna also link some groups if you guys are interested in auditioning and stuff.
Yeah, I'll do some quote unquote research after we're done with this.
I'll also at least put my groups in there as well.
Yeah, and if you're watching this on YouTube, the link to this server is actually in not the bio or whatever, the information,
the description
about the channel. No, not the description of the video. The like channel about thing. It's always there. So if you're interested in this group, I would recommend clicking on that and joining our server and
bring your dink memes with you. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
We want your dinkus memes. You'll be in automatically. You're in.
Oh yes. Dink memes. I think that's about it. So bye bye.
We're signing off. Bye. Thanks for joining us.